Hello, and thanks for joining us for Consumer Confidential. I'm Vicky Nguyen. Looking for ways to help you enjoy a stress-free holiday season? We have you covered. Whether you're planning to visit family or thinking about booking a last-minute vacation, we're going to share the latest travel hacks to save you time and money. And if you are still on the hunt for the perfect gift, well, look no further, because later we'll reveal the best products of 2023. But first, we showed you how to use AI to cook a Thanksgiving feast, but can it help take the load off of holiday shopping too? From helping you pick out your gifts to saving a lot of money, see what AI can do for you. On Bard, on Bing, on ChatGPT, all finding gifts for under the tree. These free platforms can track down a product with just a simple description or even a photo. Becoming Santa's newest helper as retailers expect record holiday spending.
It's really just a great thought starter, and it's so fast, there's really no reason not to use it.
Angela Zutavern, head of artificial intelligence at consulting firm Alex Partners, says AI can generate gift ideas and help unwrap the best deals. What are good prompts to enter into AI so it can be effective?
I like to start my shopping by typing into the prompt, "Act as my shopping assistant." I also ask it to compare prices and to provide links to websites where I can actually make the purchase. Here in the AI lab, we're able to...
In an exclusive study for NBC News, Angela and her team collected 10 million historical data points across retailers, including Amazon, Macy's, Target, and Walmart. Angela says AI predicts in early December, Target will mark down apparel, specifically baby shoes and clothes, between 30 and 50%. And Amazon will slash the price of this KitchenAid stand mixer by at least $50. As for toys, Sundays typically have the most deals, but the best time to buy? 6 days before Christmas. We're used to hearing the words dynamic pricing when it comes to airfare or hotel or rental cars, but does that happen with gifts and merchandise during the holidays too?
We saw prices change 5 million times.
Whoa.
And when we just isolated December, we saw an average of at least 2 price changes per week.
When up on the laptop, never share personal information like birthdays or addresses with AI, but you can enter a loved one's age, interests, and hobbies to help shop the perfect present. And Angela says they'll never know it came from the heart by way of AI. Or will they? In the TV business, we wear many hats. Today, for me, it's this one. We're going to have a friendly shopping competition to test my skills as a mere mortal against Angela and the machine. The challenge: in 3 minutes or less, find a gift under $40 for each Today Show anchor. Sounds easy enough considering I know them and Angela doesn't, but they are public figures, so it makes AI's job much easier. The first to make the nice list, Savannah.
I'm going to ask Google Bard to find out about her hobbies and interests.
I'm just going to go with my gut. I don't like being rushed when I'm shopping for gifts. Oh my God, I'm going to just go with this. Feeling the pressure, I finished before Angela. Okay, time's up. Who needs extra time when the AI somehow places her across the pond? Not so hot after all, huh?
It's giving me UK websites.
Once she finds a workaround, we keep shopping. I know Hoda is not a gift person. That's not her love language, so I don't want to get her stuff. But I think I found something she will like.
Oh, you're giving me a hint now.
Consider that my gift to you. And soon, Angela gains a clear speed advantage. This $40 budget is really crimping my style when it comes to Al.
I'm getting faster as I practice with the AI.
Yeah, I'm getting slower. Oh dear. Craig Melvin, I know exactly what to get you. I don't know if it's legal for me to purchase it online.
Okay, I can't find the color that I want, but I'm just going to get it. I'm typing in recommend gifts under $40 for Carson Daly.
Okay. That sounds like cheating. I like this. I think this will be nice. It's useful, Carson. It's useful. And with our final purchase, that's a wrap. For Savannah, we have a hand cream trio and a shawl. Hoda, a board game and cookies from New York's famous Levan Bakery. Al, an ascot and a book about an 18th century shipwreck. Craig, a hot pink smart water bottle and a bottle of bourbon. Carson, freezable beer glasses and a set of grilling tools. Who bought each gift? It's hard to say. Happy holidays to you and the anchors of today. AI or not, it is always the thought that counts. Now, Angela and her team looked into the hottest items for kids based on AI's analysis of recent social media posts. For toddlers, they found magnetic drawing boards were really popular, a 4-piece set of Bluey and family figures, and stepping stones to help develop coordination and balance. For kids between the ages of 4 and 8, Squishmallows, Barbies, and Legos are great options. And for preteens, Meta Quest 2 VR headsets, the Nintendo Switch, and Stanley's 20-ounce travel tumbler. Lululemon's Everywhere belt bag, also a popular one. And by the way, for women's fashion holiday trends, Angela tells us the top 2 influencers are Hailey Bieber and Kendall Jenner. All right, coming up, with retail theft on the rise, the new technology some stores are using to make it harder for thieves to steal. And later, tips to help you save time and money while traveling this holiday season. That's all ahead on Consumer Confidential. If you've hit the malls or even your local pharmacy, you may have noticed some stores look a little different this year, with a lot of items locked up or attached to cords. There have been growing concerns over the rise of retail theft, and many stores are looking for new ways to deter and detain thieves to avoid passing on the costs of lost merchandise to shoppers. Recently, researchers have been developing even more anti-theft technology. I visited a lab in Florida to show you how it all works.
Thieves captured on security cameras brazenly running off with merchandise, from deodorant and diapers to luxury goods.
This is crazy. They're locking up the toothpaste.
Losses from organized retail crime totaled $112 billion last year.
Theft is an issue. If that's not corrected over time, prices will be higher and or stores will close.
These crimes prompting some retailers, including Nordstrom, Target, and Walgreens, to close stores.
That's why I'm here at the University of Florida in a lab that's designed to teach retailers how to better protect their stores and their customers. With me now is the lab director, Reed Hayes. Reed, thanks so much. So who comes here and what are they hoping to learn?
Well, we're getting in here almost weekly now. The main asset protection and loss prevention leaders from over 80 retail corporations.
So let's start right here at the entrance to the store. What are we looking at?
Well, this is an example of technology that can be integrated. If it senses that somebody's getting ready to steal a whole lot of things at the same time, these gates will shut. You're not locked in, but it slows you down.
And I noticed there are cameras that you can barely see.
That's right. We've got cameras in different areas designed to do just that, to help identify the offender later.
The goal of these security measures is to make it more difficult to steal, increase the chances of catching the thieves, and cut down on the number of items they can get away with.
What does this device do?
Well, this is different. This is a device for very high loss items where you can't just take it. What you can do is use a device, call for customer service.
Right.
If you don't want to wait, then you can hit the cell phone option. And in that case, it's going to send you a text. You're going to put that code in.
So now you're able to open the case yourself.
Yes.
Okay. So this requires a consumer to be willing to give up their cell phone number.
You've got to.
So I'm going to demonstrate what happens when someone tries to take too much off the shelf. After 5 bottles, what happens?
Thank you for shopping in our liquor and fine wine department.
There he is.
Service is on the way to your aisle to help you immediately.
So that's a classic example of using AI. Computer vision counted 5 times. You hit a tipping point, and that tripped that alarm.
So it says customer service is coming. I'm not going to wait because I'm a thief. Okay. So I turn and I make my way toward the exit.
A lot of cameras are now picking you up right now because of that, Vicky, too.
Okay. And this slows me down, but I can still get through.
Yep, you can still get through.
Ooh.
The wheels on the cart locked because you didn't go past the point of sale and ring up a transaction.
Hayes says some retailers are fitting store managers with body cameras. Research shows this can improve the customer experience and employee safety.
And expect to see more of these cameras and screens when you're shopping. The researchers say that people are a lot less likely to steal when they can see themselves on camera.
Hayes says in some cases, shoppers will have to use 2 hands to get products.
So you can't take a whole lot of items in one fell swoop.
Check out this shelf. First, you have to turn a dial to point the red arrow to the item you want. Then turn another knob to dispense it. And cameras will play a big role with features like facial recognition, artificial intelligence, even thermal imaging. And outside, license plate readers that can help identify cars involved in other retail theft incidents.
Are retailers really going to invest in all of this?
Some of them have to invest in it.
Now, if you see a crime in action, law enforcement agents say don't get involved. If it is safe, though, you can report it to a store employee. Try to remember some of those descriptive details. And you may be surprised, but retailers, they're not insured for these kinds of losses, which is part of the reason you are seeing store closures and rising prices. Meanwhile, the ACLU and other groups have raised privacy concerns about the facial recognition technology and license plate readers that are being used. Up next, we're going to share the ultimate travel guide, from skipping long lines at the airport to tips to help you prevent jet lag, plus what you need to know to protect yourself against flight delays and cancellations. Consumer Confidential continues after this break. It has already been a busy travel season, and according to NerdWallet, more than 130 million Americans have already or plan to spend money on flights and hotels over the holidays. I stopped by the third hour to share tips to help you make the most of your trip without spending a fortune. I have so many great tips in this segment today. So first, the one is no-brainer. Just download the airline's app. You can always delete it later if you don't want it on your phone. But that is your one-stop shop for your boarding pass, your customer service number, bless you, and any alerts or delays, they'll come right into your app. Right. Next, consider paying for priority access. So TSA PreCheck, we talked about it, saves you a lot of time. It costs $85. It's good for 5 years. The next step is, if you're an international traveler, consider global entry. That also includes 5 years.
It's not that much more expensive than
No, it's not.
TSA.
It's about $100, and it includes TSA PreCheck. It gets you through customs quicker if you travel a lot internationally. And then finally, Clear. This is sort of interesting. This one's about $100. It basically gets you cuts to the very front of the line of TSA
It's
PreCheck.
a TSA Pre of TSA Pre.
Exactly. Not every airport has it.
Because my credit card gives me Clear.
You took the tip out of my mouth. That is no, that's
stole
really
the
good.
tip. Wow.
Sorry.
Those are important benefits, Dylan. It bears repeating. And then my last hack is one about sharing a photo album with your family before you leave. You don't waste data messaging each other pictures. Look at this cool monument, this and that. And then when you get back, all the photos are in one place. You can print them out as a photo album.
Everybody uploads them to that.
Exactly. Everyone uploads to the shared photo album.
So we want to save money once we actually go on vacation. But what are some ways to save on vacation?
So start with your airline ticket, Dylan, right? You're going to use Skyscanner or Google Flights. That will give you price alerts saying that if your flight goes down in price, you can call the airline and rebook at a lower price. With demand as high as it is, it probably won't, but at least you can track the prices on your flight. The next thing is a simple one, right? It's great for the environment. It's great for your budget. Bring a reusable water bottle. Almost every airport now has that filtered water. Water is expensive. It's like $7 at the airport for a bottle, right? So bring an empty water bottle and your own snacks. High protein, jerkies, a sandwich that's easy, nothing spreadable, spillable, whatever, Sam was saying, sprayable. You don't want that. And then I love this tip. So book a long layover or even a stopover. Iceland Air is famous for this option. You can stay up to 7 days. So you're going somewhere else, but you're going to stop in Iceland. They will pair you with a stopover buddy to take you around some of the hot spots there. Yep. Finnair gives you 5 days. You can explore Helsinki. Maybe you're there for the Northern Lights. Check with Al and Dylan to figure out when that happens. Singapore also, they'll give you a hotel room and a transfer back to the airport for one night for $60. So you get to explore all these other places at no charge without booking that extra flight. And finally, if you're going to an urban center, a Paris, an LA, a New York, you can look and buy a pass that will get you into like 60 different museums and monuments for one low price.
Wow.
So if you're traveling, especially if you have small children, if you're traveling with kids or long distances, maybe one of those layovers, and you want to, basically, you just want to keep your energy up.
Yes.
Some tips for that?
So this is important, especially even if you're just going from coast to coast, right? The time difference and jet lag is a very real thing. So they say try to just get on local time as soon as possible. If that means staying up a few extra hours to go to bed on time with where you're going, eat meals at those same times, expose yourself to a lot of sunlight, and drink a lot of water. Try to limit your caffeine because that's going to throw off your internal clock. As far as powering your external devices, nowadays they have these portable chargers. They're not very expensive. You can fully charge those because you never know if you're going to have a plug on the plane or not.
Always be charged, BC, or if the plug works.
Always be charged. Exactly. They're all often like funky town. And then also just make sure that you're copying and taking a photo of your passport, your visa, so you always have it with you on your phone. This one I love. Google has so many maps you can fully download. So if you go somewhere and the signal is spotty, you can still reference the map without being connected to the internet. And And sometimes our travel plans don't always go according to plan. Flights can especially be unpredictable. So what should you do if your flight is delayed or canceled? I spoke to Al, Chanel, and Dylan about everything you need to know before you travel.
So glad we're doing this story.
Me too, and a lot of things have changed, so it's good to get that refresher now.
A lot of flights over the weekend because of the weather were just canceled, delayed. What are your rights when that happens?
This is an if and or situation. If your flight is delayed or canceled and you don't take it, you go home or you take a bus or a train, get to your destination some other way, the airline is required by federal rules to refund you that portion of your unused ticket. Here's the thing. If they rebook you to go somewhere, then you have no right to a refund.
What if you don't take that rebooked flight?
Yeah, then you are.
You're out.
You are definitely due that ticket.
Okay.
The other thing that you want to think about is people ask about hotels, meals. If I'm delayed, well, are you going to pay for that? It totally depends on the carrier. And so you want to look at the contract of carriage, which is on the individual carrier's website, or go to the one-stop shop that is brand new. It's transportation.gov, and it has all the major carriers and their contracts. The one area where federal rules really do apply is the tarmac. If you've ever been stuck in the plane on the tarmac, there used to be some real horror stories.
Yeah.
Now, if it's up to 2 hours, the airline is required to provide you food, water, and bathrooms. If it's 3 hours or more, they're required to take that plane back to the gate unless it would disrupt the airport's operations severely or the pilot says there's a major security risk. The key here to avoid all of this, try to book that first flight of the day. You're less likely to encounter any issues with weather or with mechanical issues, staffing issues, so that first flight gives you that much more leeway.
Do those policy cancellations or delays come into effect if it's caused by weather?
No. Act of God is not covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are people who feel like they just say weather. Anyway, okay, we move on. As flights get fuller, especially over the holidays, what happens if you get involuntarily bumped?
Yeah, Chanel, believe it or not, airlines are perfectly allowed. It is completely legal for them to overbook their flights. And they do it because they don't want to leave the ground with less than a full plane. So this is very common. And two options happen. First, they ask for volunteers. Who would be willing to take this next flight out? And often they sweeten the deal with a flight credit, a voucher towards something else. I've heard it go as high as $800 when I'm just sitting there.
That's how I flew in college. I would always just wait.
Smart. And if you're flexible, do it because you're getting a real value for that.
Yeah.
If they are able to, so that's the volunteers. When they get to the people who cannot, are not willing to, and then they have to bump you anyway, it depends on your status. It depends on how much you paid for that ticket. It depends on when you checked in. Every airline will decide on their own who they're going to bump involuntarily. If they can get you there within an hour of your original arrival time, you're not getting any compensation. If you are 1 to 2 hours later than your arrival time, they actually have to pay you 2 times what you paid for your ticket or $775, whichever is less. If it's more than 2 hours late, 4 times what you paid, or $1,550. So it is significant.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Let's talk about luggage, because clearly I had an issue. 5 weeks it took to get my luggage back. But what would my rights have been?
This is something we know all too well. We're going to get Taylor Swift into every segment here on NBC. And it was like a national saga. We cheered when you got your stuff back, right? So the first thing you want to do, try not to have your luggage be lost at all. Rip off all those barcodes, those old tags. The worst thing is if it gets scanned accidentally and goes somewhere else. Take pictures of the outside of your luggage as well as the contents. That just makes it easier if you have to file a claim. You can say, this is exactly what I had in there. This is exactly what it's worth. Travel expert Chris Elliott says only put your name, your email, and your phone number on the outside as well as on the inside in case that label on the outside gets ripped off. Don't put your address, he says, because bad guys might know you're on vacation and go there and check out your home. The other thing, we have Apple AirTags. We have other tracking devices, tiles. That could have been handy when your bags were in Italy, wherever they were, and they went on that whole worldwide tour. And then obviously, if you can, keep calm, carry on whenever possible. It's not possible when you have like an international trip with a bunch of people. Here's the thing, if you have to buy clothes, I mean, you guys did a great job. You were like cutting the pants, you were borrowing clothes, you were wearing nightgowns. But if you have to buy things, keep it reasonable and keep a detailed receipt, because when you file that claim, that's how they're going to decide what to compensate you. And let me show you the limits here. It's up to $3,800 per passenger for lost luggage for domestic flights, but that's at the airline's discretion. $1,700 for international flights. And of course, when you file your report for lost luggage, get the name of the person and who you're supposed to contact so you can keep following up. Coming up, we'll reveal the best consumer products of the year when Consumer Confidential returns. If you are still searching for the perfect gift but you're running out of ideas, we have you covered. Every year, Consumer Reports tests thousands of products to find the best, from appliances to electronics. Digital lifestyle editor Elliot Weiler recently visited the Third Hour to reveal the top picks for 2023.
So let's start with this Dutch oven, because this is a celebrity-endorsed product.
This is Ayesha Curry,
Yeah.
right? Who a lot of people know from The Kitchen. She has a Food Network show, YouTube show, and she also has a line of cookware. This Dutch oven, Al and I were talking about this earlier, Dutch ovens are just great to have. It is one of the most versatile things that you can have. This one is so good for cleanup. It's just the way it's designed, the coating inside, great cleanup. You can bake bread in these. This also did a great job for bread.
You should try bread in a Dutch oven.
It's
really
easy.
good.
It's
Yes.
really easy.
Is it easy?
The crust gets just nice and crisp.
Yep.
Our tests also test for simmer. You know, can it hold the temperature that you want? This did well with that too. So for $45,
Oh, wow.
let's look at our simmer test there.
Wow, there's some brands that are probably a lot more than that.
I just bought one last week.
What are you doing there with that contraption? What is that?
So these are sensors that go in to test the temperature.
Oh, wow.
This is what our labs are filled with. We have these types of rigorous
To make
tests
sure it's simmering and not burning.
to make sure it's simmering and not
Very
burning.
nice.
You want to hold that even temperature here.
I have held out on the air fryer.
Okay.
But
So people love the air fryer.
Yes.
You can make unhealthy things kind of quickly: chicken fingers, mozzarella sticks, tater tots. You can also, do some cauliflower, broccoli, things like that. This is from the company. Got it?
Got it.
This is from the company that made the Instant Pot. There's a company called Instant. This air fryer does everything well. The nice feature, if you can get a look there, it has a window up front there, so you don't actually have to open the air fryer when it's going. Keeps the heat inside. You won't burn it. You won't undercook it. $130 from our friends at Instant.
Okay, and not
What
too
kind
big.
of oil do you use in an air fryer?
Sometimes you don't have to use any, but just a little.
Sometimes you have to use a little oil.
Just a little bit of vegetable oil, something like that. You don't want an oil that's going to smoke, and you don't want one that's too flavorful. So something kind of neutral, if you need to use it at all.
Okay.
The coffee in this pot smells delicious.
This is just a tremendous coffee maker value at $39. It's from Hamilton Beach. It is not fancy. It has a clock. It turns on. You can set it to make coffee in the morning, and that's about all it does.
Really all you
and if
need.
that's all you need for $39, this will brew a terrific cup of coffee.
Uses a filter?
Uses a filter. Yep, it's a typical automatic drip coffee, but great if you're just looking for maybe that second coffee maker for an office, a dorm room, maybe a garage space, whatever the case may be, even a primary coffee maker. It's great.
Oh, great. All right, Fitbits.
The Fitbit is great here. If you don't want to spend the money and don't need the full functionality of a smartwatch, but just want the fitness function, the Fitbit in Inspire is great, and it is a great price, $70. So think about heart rate monitoring, stair count. You can pair this with an app. They do sell programs where it can monitor sleep, things like that. So a really nice value there.
Are these good for kids? My son has been wanting to count his steps.
I think as long as their wrist size is,
Why does he
the right
want to
size.
count his steps at 8?
He asked, how many steps did I take today, Mom? I'm like, I don't know.
There's one way to find out. Get
you
him,
go.
get him a fitness
That's
tracker.
right.
Yeah.
Now, the Alexa Amazon smart speaker thing just keeps evolving.
Right. Well, you and I think, are in the same house.
She lit up when you said it.
That's right. Alexa,
Literally.
Go ahead.
how are you?
Well, that might be too
I've
broad.
got to say, I'm pretty troll-tastic today.
Wow.
Troll-tastic?
I don't
Troll-tastic.
know why.
Why?
Just ask me. What's the Trolls theme?
What's the Trolls theme?
Okay, our cross promotion now is next level.
Right. This is where the segment went off the rails.
That's right. Thank you.
Next level.
Anyway,
This was supposed to be the secret tip for the kitchen, so you can get some cooking advice.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Alexa, how many tablespoons are in a cup?
1 cup is 16 tablespoons.
Will be very helpful this week.
There you go.
The Echo 4 here, the sound quality is great. You and I have very old Alexas, great sound quality. If you have an Eero Wi-Fi router, this will also pair and extend that Wi-Fi
I've got one
signal
of those.
at a great price. So there you go, really nice.
Works out well.
And then this is a terrific price, $170 for this Shark vacuum. It's kind of a 2-in-1 vacuum. If you have hardwood floors, this did exceptionally well in our hardwood floor test. It is called the Lift Away for a reason. You also get a canister vac here.
Oh.
The wand comes out. Can you pull the wand out? I'm going to press wand right here, in the middle. Yep, pull that out real hard. There you go. I'm going to turn it on, and we can do some Fruit Loop cleanup there.
Whoa. How's the suction on that?
That's great suction. That's very good.
So not only does it work well, you also have the portability here, and it's much. Did you want to do some?
Well, I was going to play, but there's nothing left.
He was about to lose his job.
I'm thinking of the fans, the fan blades and all that.
Right before the holidays.
The fan.
I just saved you.
Words never uttered. Elliot, thank you.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you so much.
And that's our time for now. Be sure to join me for another edition of Consumer Confidential right here on Today All Day. For all of us at NBC News, I'm Vicky Nguyen. We hope you have a safe and happy holiday season.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.